guys, welcome to Fiction Kitchen. This is the Portsmouth Public Library's teen program where we show you how to make awesome recipes based on great books. Today, instead of taking our inspiration from a specific book, we're going to go with a whole genre, and what we're focusing on is manga. Manga is sort of the equivalent to our American comic books if you're not familiar with those. Usually these are done in black and white, and also they're read from right to left as opposed to left to right, the way we normally read. So if you ever pick up manga, you're not going crazy. It's just a little different than what you're used to. So one thing, since these are Japanese, you get a lot of the Japanese culture, and a big part of culture, as we know, is food. So one food that you'll see pop up all the time are these sort of rice balls wrapped in seaweed called onigiri, and that's what we're going to be making today. So let's just go ahead and get started.
All right, so the ingredients that we're going to need rice, and this is a medium grain rice, and you do not want to get any bigger than this. Short grain is the preferred, but it's kind of hard to find sometimes. You're also going to need sheets of roasted seaweed, and you do want to make sure that you get the sheets of it because then you can cut those to fit whatever size you want. Also, you're going to go ahead and grab whatever spices you want. So this is a Japanese-inspired blend, sesame seaweed. You can also use toasted sesame seeds. You can just use salt. You can use soy sauce. You can flavor this or fill this however you want. So let's get into making it. Next step is we are going to prepare our rice. There are not a lot of ingredients in this recipe, but it is important how we treat them. Start by adding a cup of rice to a bowl. And we are going to be rinsing our rice. The reason we're rinsing is because we want to remove any extra starch. So what we're going to do is you're going to fill up your bowl with water about an inch above the rice. And you're going to just mix that around with your hand or a spoon. And you want to mix it for, about 30 seconds. The reason we're doing this is because we're trying to remove as much starch and dirt or any other debris as possible. And you can see the water already, you can see how white the water has turned. That's all extra starch. All that extra starch acts as sort of a glue. So when you go to cook your rice, if you had all that extra starch on there, it would just make your rice sort of gloppy, soupy. It wouldn't be able to be formed and molded into a nice shape. So you have to repeat this process of rinsing your rice like 3 to 5 times because you're not going to get it all with the first rinse. The water will get so saturated with the starch that it just can't hold anymore. So you're going to have to repeat it a few times. And really what you're looking for is you want to repeat this until the water that you pour off is pretty clear. You don't want it to keep being very white. And you'll notice that you might make this once and only have to rinse it like 3 times. You might make this another time and it has like 5 or 6 times that you really need to rinse it. All rice is different. It all has different amounts of starch, and depending on the brand, sometimes there's other dirt or debris or things that are in there. So this is a process that you just have to keep repeating until you get it a nice clear stream. So after you have rinsed as much of the starch as you can out, then you're going to fill up the bowl with cold water, and you want it to be about an inch or 2 above the surface. And then you're going to take your bowl and set it aside for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you want to drain your rice, and then you'll notice a significant difference in the texture and look of it. All right, it's time to cook our rice. So you've spent all this time rinsing it and draining it and letting it soak so that you can use it. And you want to make sure that you're getting all of it into the pot here. You want to try to get as much of that rice as possible because it's important to have the right balance of rice to water. Too much water, it'll be gloppy and won't stick together. Too little water, it can get dry and even burnt. So you're going to add about equal parts, a little bit more water. So we have a cup of rice, we're adding like a cup and a fourth of water. You're gonna set it on high heat now, and then you're gonna bring it up to a boil. Once it has reached boiling, you're gonna cover it. You can either use a pot lid, or what I use is just a plate. You also want to turn your burner down to the lowest setting. You want to let that cook for about 12 to 14 minutes. Don't remove the lid while it's cooking. You can tell it's done by the sound. If you don't hear the water bubbling, you know it's kind of done. After that time, remove it from the burner. Don't forget to turn your burner off. And then you're going to let it sit for another 10 minutes. While it's sitting, you can go ahead and prepare the seaweed. And the seaweed, like I said, it's in these sheets, and the sheets are almost like paper. It has a pretty firm texture, and you can just cut this up with something like scissors. You don't have nothing fancy about it, just cut strips. The strips don't have to be perfect, and really, I like to do a variety of sizes with my strips because I don't make perfect rice balls. I kind of don't know what size they're gonna be until I start making them. So I like to have a variety of sizes, and if I have leftover, it's a snack for me. So cut these nice long strips, and like I said, cut a variety of sizes, or you can wait until you've already made your rice balls to cut these out if you want to, but I recommend having some on hand beforehand. You'll see why here in a little bit. All right, once our seaweed is ready, it's time to remove the lid or plate. Do it carefully because it's trapping steam. It could be very hot, okay? You'll notice that the rice is fluffed up, the water's gone, and now it's important that you go ahead and sort of fluff your rice. You don't want to leave a bunch of water trapped under there because then it will kind of get gloppy. You want to circulate the rice or get air in there so that the rest of the water can kind of evaporate. And once you fluff your rice, it'll make it easier to work with too. So let's show you now how to form the rice balls. So you're gonna set up sort of a little station for yourself to work with. You wanna have a cup or bowl of water and add about a teaspoon of salt to it. This is gonna be for dipping your hand in. You also wanna have your rice ready. Make sure your rice isn't too hot. It shouldn't have just gotten off the burner. If it's too hot, it'll be harder to work with and it'll hurt your hands. So make sure that your rice is cooled to a nice temperature. Have your salt water ready and your seaweed. You're gonna dip your hand in the water and then grab about a third a cup or so of rice, but you choose how big you wanna make it. And then you're just gonna use both of your hands to sort of start shaping the rice. And you'll notice that some grains are gonna stick to your hand. That's just gonna happen. Doesn't mean you did anything wrong, it's just that sometimes it's hard to get the rice to stick together. You can flatten it out and you can have it stay in this shape. You could also put a filling inside at this point, like fish or a pickle or a special sauce or seasoning. And then you want to go ahead and just keep working it into whatever shape you want. The traditional shape is sort of a triangle, but circle's fine. You could get crazy and make cubes and whatever you want, and it's your recipe. And as you're working, you may notice that you need to dip your hands a couple times, and that's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. The water's not so salty that it's just gonna make your rice way over seasoned or anything. When you're ready, take your seaweed and wet it down a little bit and put it on one half, wrap it under to the other half, so that you basically just have this strip of seaweed going from one side to the other. And the seaweed is a flavoring component, but it also makes a good handle because the seaweed itself is sort of dry while the rice is sticky. And that's essentially all that you have to do. Like I said, you can though add whatever seasonings you want. So here I'm just adding some toasted sesame seeds, but you can go crazy adding whatever you want to it. Plain white rice is a great base to add other flavors to. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. You can see here that I've made a couple different these onigiri or rice balls in different sizes. But you know, like I said, this is something that's so great because it's so customizable. Well, thanks for joining us for Fiction Kitchen. I hope you followed along and it really turns out great for you. If you're interested in more fiction-inspired recipes, please feel free to subscribe to our channel or check back each month. If you're interested in manga, we actually have a really great collection here at the library, and we'd be happy to help you find it. You can come into the library. You could also just give us a call at 740-354-5688 or email us at reference@yourppl.org. You can also check out our Libby and Overdrive apps, which have a really nice collection of manga you can read online. So thanks so much for joining us, guys. Thanks for watching Fiction Kitchen. We'll see you next time.